Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just giving you a brief overview of a UUQ product. This is their light laser combo. It's a 1000 lumen flashlight. This is what it looks like when it's paired up with my CZ P10C, and it is empty, if you can see in there. No magazine and no bullet in the chamber. Now that's the package right there. The laser is on the bottom and the flashlight is on the top. It is ambidextrous, and so you can control it. If I can just focus here, you can control it from both sides actually. The toggle goes up and down, and actually it has on the bottom, it has, if I can show you right here, it has a little control that allows for 3 modes. You can go flashlight only, you can go laser only, you can go flashlight and laser. And so those are the modes that are available by flicking this little toggle on the bottom, left, center, or right. Those are the options right there. The controls for the laser are right here, and I'm going to come in a little bit. So if you can see right there, the control on the bottom, your windage and elevation. You know, depending on the way that you mount this, that's what's going to affect how those movements go. So if you have this mounted on top of an AR, maybe at the 11 o'clock position, or maybe the 12 o'clock position, or perhaps the 6 o'clock position, just like this pistol is right here, that's going to change the way that those controls actually move your laser to line it up. And as it is right now, if I go right here, this is just with the light. You can see that right there. And I'll move the toggle to the center, and that is the light and laser combo. Guys, 1000 lumens a while back would have been a really big deal, because 1000 lumens is pretty bright. Now having a laser attached to the 1000 lumens, it's pretty cool. And the fact that you can so easily go between those options, and then I can turn off the light mode and just go to the laser, and it's a very bright laser. I actually prefer green lasers. Red aren't bad, but I prefer green when I get the option. Just contrasts really nicely for me. That's cool. And again, just the laser option. And if you can tell, mine is sighted in. It's not too hard to do. I got a little parallax issue going on behind the camera, but you can see, you get the idea. I've sighted mine in, and if I don't want to burn up the battery, which lasts for about 2.5 hours in my experience, maybe 3 hours if it wasn't so cold. If I don't want to burn up that power of the CR123 batteries, then I can just go with a regular flashlight, not using the laser. But honestly, it's more fun with the laser, so I'll just burn them up. I like using the laser like this. It's really cool, and for me, it's really sharp. It's easy to pick up, and when I'm on a target, it's surprising when I do night shooting how this can pierce through the smoke, and I can actually pick up my steel targets really well, because this reflector makes it apparent when I'm on the steel, versus just running my iron sights. Even though I have very good iron sights, the laser is just one more feature there. Out to about 25 yards, it's really accurate. And out to 50 yards, you know, if you zero your optic that way, if you zero your laser that way, with whatever gun you're running, yep, out to a 50-yard distance, you're still going to be hitting a 2/3 size IPSC. And if you're going further than that, you're going to want to play around with your laser a little bit and your zero for your gun. So in my experience with other UUQ products, such as the bipod I reviewed previously on my channel, I think they focus on strength. I think a lot of their products are strong, high quality. This one doesn't seem different to me. I think this is also a really strong one. It's an anodized aluminum body to this. I'm not worried about weathering. I'm not worried about weather getting in here. It looks like it's got a proper seal on the O-ring there where the battery cap is. Again, those are CR123 batteries, last for 2.5-3 hours, 6 volt. Pretty common battery at this point, not hard to find. But I think the quality of it is very good. You know, when you buy this, it comes with a box, and let me grab that box real quick for you. It comes in a box like this, and inside there's some directions in case you're newer to flashlights and lasers and you don't really know how to make it work with whatever gun configuration you have, because rifles, you know, Picatinny is pretty standard, but then when it comes to pistols, the length underneath can be different from gun to gun. And maybe you've never even used one of these. You could just grab a coin and loosen and tighten this to get it on your gun. If you've never used one of these before, I can do it with my hand just barely here if I do that. And that's how it attaches or comes off. There's a single slot of Picatinny on these P10 series pistols. And after I get it installed like that, then I would go back with a coin, especially if I don't want it to come off. Although I've been shooting it just hand tight tonight, and it has not come off or loosened up even hand tight. So it's got a good lockup. But again, if you didn't have the P10C and maybe you have a different pistol with a little bit more of a unique Picatinny setup underneath, inside the box are a bunch of other adapters that are going to make it fit for your type of gun or your rail, especially pistols. And so that's going to make it more universal for everybody. Again, this is a pretty affordable version of these, and I'm happy to see the price come down on light laser combos. I'm a big fan of the light laser combo. I used to get just lights, and then when I started shooting a little more at night, I realized that I do like the laser combination. It's cool, and if the price is not that different, I'm going to lean towards the light laser combo myself. Maybe you just don't need it at all, and that's probably true. Maybe I don't need it at all, but it's made it easier for shooting, and if I can have it, I will. Plus, this one having the modularity and the ability, the flexibility, to modify it, and so I can just go light, I can go laser light, and I can go just laser. I like that. I like being able to do all three modes. This is probably, from what I can tell, going to be compatible with holsters that also, maybe some of the Streamlight holsters that have a light laser combo, some of the, let's see, the O-Light, I think, as well, that have a similar body type. It is kind of a familiar body type to those types of lights. I think this will work in those types of holsters. And so don't quote me on that. You'll have to do your own research and try it out. And if worse comes to worse, you really could just get a universal hard nylon holster if you really had to. Some of those like tactical kind that have fold over Velcro pieces, those can be really, really strong and protect the trigger mechanism and not allow things to get in there depending how you set it up. And they'll allow for a wider package, especially if you're going to throw this on maybe a type of plate carrier, or if you have a belt, like a battle belt, then a universal holster is very at home with that. And you can even get different levels of retention with those for your battle belt. But I'm a fan. I'm having a good time with it tonight. I'll take a few more shots here before I head in. It's been really, really good. It's holding up in the cold just fine. Like I said, right around 2.5 hours for battery life. And with CR123 batteries being common, I would say now, it's not hard to replace them if you run it out. And I would say every 6 months, I just grab another pair from the store, throw them in. And if this is your carry gun with your carry light, then every 6 months you should be fine. If you're shooting more often, replace them more often. All right, first up is going to be just the light. So right here, we're looking at, I think that's 50 yards to the berm from where I'm standing right here. So there's 50 yards. I'll try to get behind the camera a little better. There's 50 yards. And as you can tell, it's snowing out right now. It does illuminate a nice wide pattern, and it still has a hot center. And that's kind of a big deal to me with a pistol light. I do want some of that spill off to the side there. If you're trying to light up a room that ends up being a wide room, if you had to clear your house and you have a big wide living room or something, I want a little bit of spill in there. I don't want just a hot center, because that hot center doesn't do much for the sides. But you can see this lane, which is about 25 yards across, it's giving me plenty of light. I can make out those benches on the sides, and then I have a nice hot center at the targets downrange. And now I'll switch over to the light laser combo. And as you can tell, even on the camera, man, it's really bright. It's a very nice sized dot, very easy to pick out quickly, and it goes a long ways. I'll have to go out to a further distance to show you guys how far this thing can go. It's very impressive. And then if you wanted to, for whatever reason, just use it as a laser, there you go. There's a laser at 50 yards. Again, a very practical distance for running something like this, in my opinion.